Navigating Life with Viwe. I am Viwe, and thank you so much for joining us for this conversation. Today, we are talking about the pressure of having it all together. If you've been 28, 38, and 48, you should know what we're talking about. Relationships, money, children, marriage, you know the works. The expectation out there is that you should have figured it out by now. And joining me for this conversation is the usual crew. And I do want to say today we are looking especially beautiful because we are in our match, Navigating Life with Viwe. Of course, Navigator, you too can get your hands on it. We will be sending information on how you too can get your own. Thank you so much for supporting us. So what you will notice with Brian is that his t-shirt, please, can you just show it to the camera?
Oh, God.
The only Brown Mukhotsi of the show, darling. Hello, Brian.
I think I need to accept my role in as serious as things get. I am the Brown.
Yes, Brown Mukhotsi.
I am the Mukhotsi here, and I say ish as it is. Welcome to the show, and it's so great to have you here on my left. Ow!
We love you, Brown Mukhotsi. We love you. Lundu.
Yes.
And there's a reason why navigators, Nolundu and Brian, are seated together. That's our naughty corner for today. Look at them. Look at them.
Yeah,
Look at them. Look at them.
Today.
This is exactly why they seated together.
Damn.
Nolundu,
We
please say
flipped
hi
a coin
to...
and we just flipped it wrong.
Just that.
Yeah.
Thank you for tuning in as our host. Said it right. As our host had said, I am Nolundu. I am, okay, let's just leave that.
I love that. Welcome, Nolundu. Oh my God, they're in a naughty corner for a reason. I do ask for podcast decorum. Can I ask for that? Thank you very much.
Noted.
Yeah.
Thank you. And that's what we owe you, navigators. We owe you structure. We owe you. We're here every time, presence, every Thursday, 6 p.m. And let us dive into our topic, the pressure to figure it all out. Brian, there's this invisible goal that is set, you know?
Yeah.
Nobody actually communicates, but I mean, finish varsity at 22,
Yeah.
Get married by 25,
Yeah.
have a home by 30,
Yeah.
have it all figured out.
Yeah.
And in an economy like ours, where suddenly the cost of diesel has just shot up,
And it's shooting up now.
yes,
Every first Wednesday of every month, guys, let's please realize every first Wednesday of every month, that is when it goes up.
yes, and that's the economy that we are surviving in. It's not an economy that has existed, at least in our lifetime before. You know, we're seeing everything for the first time. And the pressure to perform, you know, the pressure to make sure, in light of how social media sells a perfect picture of life for some of our peers, you know, how does that, you know, what's your comment on that? You know, have you ever felt like, my goodness, I feel like I'm behind, I should be there, and in actual fact, I mean, there is a contract, although it's not written anyway, you know, and I'm falling behind because I'm now in my 40s, late 40s now, right?
This is what I should
late
have.
40s. This is what I should have, and I don't have it. Yeah, talk to me.
I feel like I am personally behind. It's not when did I feel like I'm personally behind. I feel like I'm personally behind constantly. And that's what drives me. Nigga, you need to catch up. I feel like I'm constantly behind when it comes to certain decisions that I made that have not worked out for me. Right? And those decisions that I made have served me what I have now. And at the same time, they also fuel what decisions I need to make going forward.
I love that.
So I am constantly reflecting on the decisions that I've made.
I love it.
In order to not make those decisions again. Once you've made a mistake, bro, if you're in that situation again, you'll never make that same mistake. You know how to treat it better.
I love it.
You move the hell on forward and you treat it better.
I love it.
Right?
I love it.
So I'm constantly learning from the decisions that I've made. I'm not going to lie to you.
Okay. I love it. I love it. I love that you're being honest about where you are now. You're saying, you know, you have lessons that you've picked up from whatever decisions you may have made before. But it also sort of directs you to where you want to go, you know?
Exactly.
I love that.
Exactly.
You know, look, I want to come to you. I want to come to you knowing where you come from, coming from a family that I would say is of achievers, as you've shared with us before. You come from a background of business, you know, where your parents were participating eventually, you know, it's business in the and in the economic sense of when you were born and you were raised. I mean, that was massive, you know, mntana sevenkle mntana wabazali that are well off, you know.
Hey, bro.
And-
No, that's
Yes,
yeah.
and how has that the expectation for you to make it big felt like for you? You know, was it ever a thing, or were you just allowed to carve out your own life and your own choices? Is it something that existed at any point in your life, and where are you in terms of that?
Look, I think internally with the parental unit, you will be what you want to be, right? But there is that expectation that you put on yourself, and when you come from a family of achievers, right? No, almost I wouldn't want to and you have these aspirations as you like, okay, when I hit a certain mark, I want to be this. I want to move my life into a specific direction. I want to be married at a specific age. I want to have kids at a specific age. I want to have a house. And you have a specific, I want a holiday home. I want a house that I have. You have all these dreams, and you set them up as you grow, because you envisage a life of what you want, because you grow up in a household where you're told you've got a springboard.
Yeah.
You're not starting from nothing.
Whatever you like.
You're not starting from nothing. So
Yeah.
what do you want to do? You want to franchise the business. This is a business. You can franchise it. You know? And you have people. You'll have a lot of noises. You'll have your own aspirations that you're like, I don't want to franchise your business. I want to branch out of my own. I've got my own talents. I've got my own. So you end up, as Brian says, you make mistakes along the way. You know? And people, because of the background, they'll think you have it figured out. You know? You have it figured out. And because when they talk to you, you
have to have it all figured out.
Yes, you have it all, and you hold your own, because you hold your ground. And so they then think, but you have it figured out. And you're like, or you then
still
get
in the
there,
process.
and because you've made some mistakes, and you're still in a process of figuring yourself out. I mean, you're figuring what you want. There's the unattainable dream, as Brian says, based on also your potential.
I understand.
You know? And you get people who will be like,
I posted.
Chance and time.
I posted the other day, waking up at 3:00 in the morning. It was cold as hell. Now in the month of May, and I knew in Dobana I had to go and buy bread, right, so that I can make lunch for the kids in the morning, so that they isongas peli, right. As I woke up at 3 a.m. in the morning, I know in Dobana bread is going to be delivered 3:45. It's going to take me 10 minutes to walk up to the shop. And I'm sitting there thinking, when I flip, it's cold as hell outside. I'm lazy to get out of bed, right? And at that moment, something hit me, and I posted, laziness is an insult to someone who believes in you. Now, my children believe in me, and they believe in Ndobana. Dad's going to make it a point in Ndobana, there's going to be bread, right? The expectations sometimes that people have of you are not beyond you. They are within reach, but it's those ones that just...
Brian, I want to stop you right there in what
Okay.
you're saying. Should the definition and the expectation of where you should be come from, in fact, where should it come from? In fact, that's a better way of asking the question.
Yeah.
Who gets to define it in your own view? Is it the people, because you've brought in another aspect, that the people that believe in you, you know?
Yeah.
Do you then center or anchor, your performance on the people that believe in you? Or do you go out on your own and define your own, output, so to speak? This is what I'm capable of doing. This is what I'm going to do. The expectation of that person and that person have got to fall within what I believe I can do. Where do you think it should sit in?
I think, and I do believe, Ndobana, any expectation that is put upon you should be within your capabilities. You can't expect me ukubana ndizawukwazi, if for instance andikwazi uxhela, you can't say to me just because ndobana ndiyinkulu ekhaya izoxhela. Dude, you don't have that expectation of me. However, if I know ndobana kuxhelwa njani na, and I know how to do this, I have practiced it before, then you are more than welcome to say to me ndobana except mondini kuzawuxhela wena.
I hear you. I hear you.
So the expectation should never be more than what your capabilities are. And now you should never expect, okanye you should never demand more of yourself.
All right.
Ungumntu, when you know indobana you're only capable of so much. Stop trying to
I
please.
understand. I understand. I want to ask you a question. In a world where nobody owns their failures publicly, in a world where we all pretend to have it together, in a world where we all want to seem like life is clocked and we are doing the best with our lives.
Yeah.
Have you ever failed? And if you did, have you ever been proud to talk about it? And have you ever maybe reflected on that and maybe seen, actually, it was just redirection? I don't know.
Let's just talk about the businesses that I have started.
Yeah.
I mean, my first business was a landscaping business. Right?
I could have supported you. But anyway, in another lifetime.
In another lifetime. I think I was 23 at the time, 23, going on 24 when I started that.
I love it.
That failed, you know? And sure, my mom's capital failed down with it. All right. My second, I mean, I've had numerous times where I've tried something and it didn't work. And for me, I look at those failures and I take them as lessons that, one, maybe it's not time yet. I mean, at some point in time, I had an oil business, mixing blended oils for cents.
Okay.
And I felt, okay, it hasn't failed. It's just that this is not the time yet. You know,
You were ahead of your time.
Yes, I was ahead of my time.
Yeah.
And maybe today I can do it, pursue it, and market it right, correctly. So I've had times where when you talk about failure, I'm like, show me.
I love it because this is the part that nobody shows. You know, when we fail, nobody wants to talk about it. No one wants to be associated with failure. Yeah. And I want us navigators to redefine it in case you're going through something like that. That failure is part of life. It is redirection. I think for every endeavor that you tried, I think what you came out with, I can imagine, and I'm relating to my own failures, was how not to do it, you know, was maybe to look at better ways of doing it, you know, and it doesn't matter how much makeup we put on. It doesn't matter how much lipstick we wear. We all go through the same patterns. Life is that regulated.
Yeah.
You win some and you lose some.
Oh, standard.
And
balance,
by that,
balance.
It is
Libra,
like
baby,
that.
Libra.
And I want to say, Brian, having the experience and having the experience, particularly in the media space, which I personally think is a space where people wear facades. You know, people want to pretend like everything is here.
Yeah, everything is hunky dory.
And you
we
get
all
these sponsorships, and you're now doing A, B, C, D, and F because you're in the media space. Yeah. But somehow that does not really translate into something that's tangible for you. Because yes, somebody might take clothes off the shelf, and go to Brian Ndevu dress by whatever they dress by. Brian Ndevu has sponsorship, free games, rugby. It's in, where is it? It's in Australia this year. And all of that, you know, it does give an impression of achievement. It does give an impression of a perfect life. But just how perfect is life on that front? And I don't want you to speak about you. I want you to speak about how you understand the industry to operate.
I'll tell you now, Ndobana, the industry is only as perfect as you make it. I cannot speak for other people. There are failures that we have had. And I mean, in terms of failures where we started to try and do something, I think now, for instance, it was my biggest failure has always been inconsistency. while that door is getting closed, I failed in not trying to find the window or the sunroof that was open so that I can get into that particular space. I'll give you a particular example, right? And this is away from the industry itself. This is someone I am in the industry with, that we were in the industry with, and we tried to start a business. Something as simple as ukubona e-complexes, right? Or Nanziga, or the Beacon complexes like that.
You mean like estate living?
Yeah,
like,
estate
like,
living.
Yeah.
So we had the bright idea, Yobana, flip, man, people are moving in towards this kind of estate living. This is 2009. And we had the bright idea, Yobana, let's offer a car washing service within an estate, so that we know we have a contract here, right? We knocked on a couple of doors. Body Corporate was like, no, and they ended up doing it themselves. We became so despondent, we gave up on it, and we never followed it through. However, that was a business model that could have worked for a whole lot, right? So the consistency and becoming despondent is where I know I failed. Another business as well, and what has now become what it is that we do, right? Very same friend of mine. We said to, I remember it was Morning Live and Metro FM. We said to them, we need to merge the on radio element. You know, when the DJs are here and playing music, and on this side, Morning Live needs to merge with Metro FM, Good Hope, or 5FM, right? And we would. This is back in 2009, 2010, before even the concept year podcast was ever. Tina, this was Indobana. When you wake up in the morning, in the house, you are watching Morning Live. When you get into the car, you are listening to a radio station. So the messaging and the news should be carried over, right? We went through this thing. Hey, man, the broadcast company, they shut it down. And we were like, okay, fuck. Sorry, flip, we can't do it. But look at where we are now. I'm talking about 2007, 2008, 2009. It is now almost 20 years later. Here's where we are. Gamanyama Glasha, you just need to stick towards it. Indobana, flip, let's go. Let's keep on at it. Yeah, it's okay to give up.
I love that. Thank you, Brian. In a world where we are encouraged to have role models, people that we look up to. And I mean, you can have someone that you look up to and you check their biography if it's someone that's big enough to have one. You know, and you understand at this age they were finished with school. At this age they were married. At this age they had life figured out. They had life figured out. There is a concept in English of comparison.
Yeah.
And that of benchmarking.
Yeah.
And I want you to take me through your own views on both. You know, how do you live a fulfilled life where you set goals, where you are motivated by or pulled towards your excellence by looking at somebody else, but also keeping sober enough for you not to compare, you know, yourself. And I'm asking you that, having given you the two words, which I hope spark some thought around what the question is, which is comparison and benchmarking.
If you had asked me this question 4 years ago, I would not have the faintest. Because 4 years ago, I had not figured out who Nolundu was.
Nice.
Right. So when it comes to comparison, I've got no one I can compare my journey with because my journey is unique.
You've figured now.
I've figured that out.
Okay.
And it's mine, and my pace cannot be compared to anyone's because it is my pace, my story.
Guys, I want us to hug ourselves. Can we just hug ourselves? I wanted us to hug ourselves because there's something profound you've said, and I'm sorry to cut you mid-sentence. When you said your journey is your own journey, I figured we are very hard on ourselves. You know, I figured we need to love ourselves more. And I figured we need to respect God for his intentions about our lives because the timeline is never ours. But please do continue. I felt the goosebumps on your response.
Nice one. Big up to you guys.
Yeah.
So in terms of having a mentor, right? And I think this is why I write. Yesterday I had insomnia, right?
Okay.
One of the things in getting to know Unoluntu is an inspiration from a scripture that of the talents. Right? The talents. In the Bible, there's a guy who was given 5 talents.
Oh, I see.
three,
I see.
yes. And for me was I want to empty everything that was
love it.
created in me. I will explore
Every talent.
every talent I possess. If it does not make me sleep at night, I obsess over it. That's a talent. I need to explore it.
I love that.
If it means writing songs and I've got a thing, and this is new, where I'm not a singer, but sound and tune, I'm able to distinguish. I'm able to distinguish. And I do not know where this comes from. 43, 44, it started. And that's a talent that I am exploring.
I love it.
I have come to terms that I cannot be one thing because of the many talents that I have and the many things that I would like to explore. The writing, which is one of them.
I love it. I love it.
You
I love
can't
it.
be everything to everyone, but you can be something to someone
yourself.
at some point, and even to yourself.
I love
myself
that.
first.
I love that. Thanks for that, Brian. Your question to you. But what is that one thing that you should want? You are made to feel like you should want. You should have it.
That I should have.
But in Ngapakati, you're literally like, okay, like I do want it, but I really don't care if I have it or not.
V, let me tell you about what I have had that I give 0 Fs about.
Yeah.
Because I've achieved everything that everyone thought that I needed.
Okay.
I still haven't achieved what I want.
Ah, okay. But you
It's
realize...
navigating life, right?
Yeah.
We're navigating life,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
Okay.
I have a firstborn son.
Yeah.
Achieved. I was married. Achieved. Got divorced. Okay, it's not an achievement.
Remarried?
I got married again. Achieved. I have kids. Achieved. My career, right, from when I started.
Yes.
If I was actually to look back at my career, I have been doing this thing for 31 years because I decided at age 15, when I want to go into broadcasting.
Yeah.
Here I am turning 47 right
Yeah.
right? Everything achieved. I'm an award winner. Achieved.
Clock it.
I have worked for all the major broadcasters.
Clock
Achieved.
it.
I have traveled
I'll
countries.
clock it.
Achieved. Am I happy? Is that achievement achieved? No,
Baby.
I'm not.
Wow.
There's a lot more that I need to do.
Wow.
Ekugqibeleni, we need to realize, and I'm saying this right now, and I said this to you guys earlier on in the episode before, Indobana, I found solace here. I found healing. And I'm going to say it again. I find healing here. This is another healing point in my life. Ubana, I may have achieved most of the things that people had expected of me.
Yeah.
Right?
Wow, Brian.
What are the expectations that I have of myself that I have not achieved? I am only starting to acquire and achieve happiness. Some of the first things I'm only achieving in my life, I'm only experiencing them now. And guys, let's not forget, Morgan Freeman only started his career at the age of 40.
No, it's never late.
And I'm only experiencing some of the things that I wanted to achieve in life now. And I'm only realizing them right now.
I love that.
Wait, actually, what I wanted is only coming to fruition now.
I love that. And I want to actually extend that to our navigators.
Yeah.
That it's quite important what Brian is saying is that we need to orbit around our own axis. Is that even a thing? We need to center ourselves around our own lives. Because naturally, and I think this is a question not just to the crew here, it's a question even for you, navigator watching, that you know what, in life, we can chase all these material things, have a home, have homes, have everything that people define as success, but are you happy? And that's the bigger question, and I think that should be the biggest virtue, that we should all strive for. Being happy, because surely God did not intend us on this earth to be miserable. No. And I don't think if we're made in His image, that's how we should be leading our lives. in total misery and feeling like inadequate. I mean, imagine how he feels when he has made you up and you suddenly come here and you feel inadequate. There has to be a balance. Yes, success gives us a reason to live, you know?
Yeah.
Pushing and and going for your goals is a reason enough to live, because you're here, you might as well do something with your life. But feeling like you are behind when there are people that are changing careers at 50, at 60, it's never too late. Maybe that's something that you guys should take home with you guys, that the pressure of social media is not about to stop. You need to define your own living parameters and be realistic to you. And with that, I want to take a question to you, Nolund. What did closing doors on every business you've had to close teach you that keeping those doors open would have not taught you?
Acceptance.
Ha. Wow. Let's clock it.
Acceptance.
I love that. Okay.
And when you're alone and it's the still of the night, and you page through, and there's that voice that says, but you failed there. You failed here. Kunini uzenza businesses? Kunini umane usithi kwabantu bakakwenu mabasupport? Friends put in business. You've been into construction. You've been into catering. You've been into supply. You've done all of these things. But masifume makadebe. Like awugobi ufailile. You then have to accept that I have failed. I have failed, but I would have not learned the value financial stewardship. One, I would not have learned the value how to negotiate yourself into a deal and not out of a deal. I would not have learned the value that if a deal looks very good, if it's too good to be true, it probably is.
Good to be true. Yeah.
Yeah. So walk away.
Yeah.
So there are teachings that you take with you, and you then accept where you are, and you're like, I am here. All right, where to from now on? I once had a conversation with a cousin of mine who said to me, and he's really done good for himself. He's like, Sis Londo, but do you realize that from the time Nancy Skolweni, like in varsity, you have been hustling? And you do not see what you've got now, because we kind of count material. We kind of count. We like
what is physical.
Yes, what is physical? And
what is aesthetically visible? Bro, do you have peace? Do you have love?
All of those things. Wow. And because money is not everything, and that's another thing that we need to learn. It is a tool to things we want.
Yeah. And
desire.
Yeah.
It is not everything. It is a tool.
It is not a need.
So when you get to the point of accepting, and this guy says to me, you have had tenacity, and you've done incredibly well, because you're still in the game.
Absolutely.
If I were you, Sis Noluntu, if I would be in your shoes, I would have given up. But you still show up.
Giving up
you
is
still
not
have
an
another business idea. You come, you're like, hey,
okay,
and awufiki usithi ndicinge ufika proposal nento yonke nibalile ne-finances. I mean, how many businesses? I would not cope. When he said it, it made me think about the only thing, and I even said it to him, I said, you're saying this because I've accepted my failures. And I have not allowed my failures to define me.
I love that.
So I have pushed myself, because I then know my potential. And I'm not working for potential. I am building now.
Yeah.
All right. I love that. You know, I attend psych sessions most with my psychologist. And this one time she asked me a question. In fact, this is us sorting through some of the issues I was placing on the table. And I'm not afraid to say I've placed it on the table that, I sometimes battle with relationships. Family relationships, friendships, because I have very hard boundaries and almost to a point where you'd think, she doesn't really keep people. I just don't keep nonsense, as a person.
Yes.
Basically, right? Now, and when we got into this topic, she made two scenarios, and I think sometimes we judge ourselves unfairly. And what she said was that some of us are here to build tribes. tribes, and it's in the relations we have with other people. You know, it's and we're called for different things. You know, some of us are here to create a legacy. A legacy means you might not have a tribe, you might travel a road alone, but it is a road that will lead to a difference for many, you know, that will come, you know.
Yeah.
So when we were balancing out this conversation, it came to now say legacy. And I want to touch on something you said. Okay. I'm not saying money is an absolute in legacy, right? It is a personal motivation for me. I love comfort. I love chasing money, even though I know that total happiness isn't money. But it is something that I anchor my life on. Like, how do I make... It's a natural thing for me, you know. Now, I want to ask a question. Is it, and I've said this jokingly to some of my friends, I said, I would rather, you know, cry in a comfortable situation than be sad.
In an uncomfortable
situation. Tribes tend to have dynamics that I am not wired for, because I do have a bit of a left mind than a right mind. You know?
Okay.
Although I do think I am
Fairly balanced.
I'm okay for this world. But I mean, when then do we all have to strive for the same thing? Do we all have to strive for the same thing? Because if money is not important to somebody else and important to somebody else, is there a higher ground? Is there a better ground between these two extremes?
I want a legacy.
Okay.
If you would have asked me this question again 6, 7, or 10 years ago, because I'm a people's person, I'm a lover of people, I would have said no tribes. But a legacy is something you leave behind, even for those people. Because the tendency is, if you want success, and I mean proper success, you're not going to journey with the crowd. Because success is lonely. Success is decisions that you make where you then are not going to take everyone up with you.
Have you ever seen an eagle fly in a flock?
Never.
It's heartbreak of saying,
never.
Ubani at this point in my life, Yamtand.
Yeah.
But they're not good for
their habits are not supporting of
they're
what
not
I want.
supporting where I'm going. And therefore I need to distance myself and cut the relationship. Ubani, I love him, but they're not good because where I'm going, I need to be selfish. And they need a selfless friend. And I cannot be selfless because right now, this is my building years. I need to be selfish of my time. Tribes expect you to be there. They expect you to be there. And you're like, no, I'm doing this now. And they don't understand that you cannot be with them at a specific time because you are building something. And at the end of the day, and this is for me, and I say, and I think, we heal here. At one stage, you said something so profound to me. And from there, I was like, people that are in my life will understand when I say, I'm building. I can't come.
No, absolutely.
Absolutely. I can't come because I'm busy. I've got an aging parent and they are my priority. So their health. So I'm a caregiver there. They will understand because what is important for me is that when I close my eyes and I am called to the afterlife, is that I leave something of substance, not for just my kids,
Legacy.
but for generations to come and for people, and not just for my children, but for everyone else.
I love that. Maybe that's where we need to start from. You need to understand what you are here for. Are you here for the tribe or are you here for a legacy? And I think if you know and if you've got clarity there, do you understand? Then you might be able to carve out your way here more clearly because, information is coming from everywhere and it can be disruptive. Brian, legacy tribe, what are we doing here?
I think that a legacy by far is better than a tribe. And you can leave a legacy of destruction. You can leave a tribe of destruction. And that tribe at some point is going to be bred out, if I can even put it into organic terms. At some point, there's going to be someone who's going to say, Ndobana, I want to break the family tradition, right? So that is tribal. It's not on your shoulders.
Yeah.
I want to break the family tradition. Yobana, this has been happening. So that tribe of those people that used to do that ends there. What legacy? I believe in legacy more than anything.
I love
else.
that. I love that.
The reason why I say, one of the other reasons why I say so is because I live in the legacy of my forefathers and my family, of family first. And again, I'll go back to what we read and what we say, the blood of, the blood and the relationships between people are not defined by blood. I believe in legacy.
I love that.
The legacy you leave by far leaves behind the life that you live, or the tribe that you live with.
I love
Your
that.
tribe will be washed out, however, the legacy you leave.
Somebody says, I don't want to plan for 10 years. I don't know if I have 10 years. I just want to plan for the next 30 days. Can I survive for the next 30 days? What can I achieve with what I have in 30 days? Where do you sit on that topic? Are we on 30 days? Are we on 10-year plans? Where do you sit?
Okay. The 30-day and the 10-year plan are in different stages of life.
Yeah.
30 days is just surviving till I see what happens.
see.
10 years is saying I've survived the worst. I've lived. I'm still going to live. So in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years, this is where I want to be in 10 years. And for me to get there, I need a roadmap. So that when life happens and I lose sight, I've got that navigator that reminds me this is your true north.
I love that. I love that response.
to
And
reflect.
and I sit here as somebody who, at the demise of my marriage, I had one parent, my mother had just passed on, which was such bad timing because I needed her for the divorce. And I had one parent, and I knew my dad feels everything that I go through. And I presented him with a 5-year plan.
Yeah. Getting to know Viwe,
And
I remember
yes,
this.
and in in fact, it was a 3-year plan initially. In the plan, I had to say, this is how I am going to get my life back in order.
Yeah.
I don't know if he remembers, at a certain point, he was like, you did it within 3 years. I didn't shoot for 2 big goals, you know. I shot for something that I felt was practical.
And they just happened to be.
But the most
part of-
important thing, which I want to also maybe share, which worked for me, when you put ink on paper and you say, this is what I want to do,
Intention.
you have signed the contract between you and your maker, and the only thing that's left is closing the gap between where you are and there. It works for me. I have not achieved anything to date that I've never written down. But I want to come to you, Brian.
Powerful.
Does it count? Does
Thank
it
you.
count? Does it count if it's not ink on paper, but when you do it on your phone and you write it down?
I don't know. I'm still old school. I'm still old
Yeah,
school, so I
it-
wouldn't,
Well,
I'm still very
it's
old
the
school.
intention.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, she put
The
the
intention,
intention
yeah.
out there.
Yeah, no, for me, I mean, at this, to get to where I am, I've never not written something down.
Yeah.
So I trust it going forward.
Yeah.
I'm at a point where I'm now, but anyway, that's a story for another day. I want to come to you.
Okay.
Somebody wrote on social media, I
Holy
stopped following people that were 2 steps ahead of me. And I now started following people that were 2 steps behind me. It does sound petty, but it reminded me that somebody else thinks I am ahead.
The ish and the urine, yeah.
And it allowed for me to understand how blessed I am. And it changed my language because my next became, I'm figuring out how to get there. What is your view?
I've been saying and this is in our private conversations, right? Ukubana, you are only as great as your last show,
Yeah.
right?
Uh-huh.
And that's what I learned back in 99, 2000. You are only as brilliant as your last performance. Therefore, you need to constantly keep on striving to do better in life.
But how do you feel about the contrast? Because let me tell you why this question for me is important. Usually we are told to look at those that have walked the road.
I'm coming there.
Look ahead. But this
coming
person
there.
is saying, I am defying what I've been told for
Yeah.
what works for me, because I
Yeah.
need to remember how blessed I am.
Yeah.
And I'm now looking at people that look at me
Yeah.
and say, she has made it. And, you know, that's the dynamic I want you to respond to.
I have walked into many a room where I've had to speak to media and communication students. And there will be the odd student who will say, Ndobana, I'm going to do better than you. And you need to take that and know, Ndobana, okay.
It's great for him.
It's great for him. And you thinking to yourself, Ndobana, it gives you a point of reflection, Londole, Ndobana, what have I been through, what have I achieved? And you're on some, go ahead, my ninja, do it. And the day you do it, please, I'll be there too. And it's not a matter of, I dare you, you can't do it. It's a matter of, here's a person that's driven
I love that.
to do, that acknowledges what I've done, because mna ndiyazilibala what I've done.
Yeah.
Right? Lo mntu lona wants to take it further than what I've done. I'm still looking at, flip, I still need to do. This person is looking at, flip, I need to do more. So it's actually inspiring. Inyathi buzo kwabaphi?
Kwabaphambi.
Uphinde ubuyele emva into yobana sometimes you will forget what put you there. The one thing about this industry that we're in here broadcasting is that, and what people don't realize, bro, I'm 26 years in the game, right? Like officially. There's another 5 years that I put into the game. And I still get nervous before I put a mic on. For me, that says, ukubana, I still have ish to accomplish and I still have goals to achieve. The moment I just walk into it, flip, this is what I do. That's the moment I know in Dobana I've lost the passion and I've lost the plot.
I love it.
So you constantly need to look back on am I still nervous enough? What am I going to say? This is why I constantly judge myself, whether it's a voiceover, whether it is a shoot that we do in Dobana flip, guys, it looked like it. And this is why we judge ourselves, right? Because we constantly seek that certain sense of perfection, or that point of perfection.
And is perfection ever possible?
This is the thing. Now, if you don't get it this time around, you're gonna discover it. We could have done this shot better. There were reflections there. There was acoustics. We failed here. Then we do the next shoot. It's gonna be better because we are constantly evolving,
pursuing perfection.
So you can never. I can never be comfortable knowing this is what I still do every day, every week. For me, is a challenge. Flip. I'm sitting with intellectuals. I can't come here.
Is that
and flip.
us?
Yeah.
Clock it.
We sit here in the presence of greatness and we learn from each other. And I don't take as for granted. I always constantly know this is for growth, and I take it as such.
Navigator, one thing that I want us to remember, and I hope that we've carried in this episode, is that the truth of life is that as you are doing, you are also being done. As you sit here in your comfortable space watching Navigating Life, you are also moving at dizzying speeds as the earth orbits around the sun. So the work that is you is not a work of just a day. You are a culmination of God's plan. And for that, it means you cannot be on any other person's plan. You cannot compare. And I did ask a question about comparison and benchmarking. I do want us to shift towards benchmarking. Benchmarking is essentially studying best practice and finding a way of incorporating it into your own life, whether it's best practice in that or in that. But comparison is almost going to certainly give you a defeating or a defeated sense of being. You will be defeated every time you compare. And I want to direct you away from it as a practice and more towards benchmarking. Benchmarking has elevated other people. If you're looking up to somebody and you're like, someday I want to achieve similar to that person. But you must remember your life is your own. Their life is theirs. Never expect for you to have the same outcomes at the same time, but you can definitely use that as motivation. And I want you today to hold it out for yourself, hand in chest, and say, I am figuring it out, because you are allowed to figure it out. You are allowed to work on yourself. As you live here today, your only project on this earth is to figure out you. And it is to figure out what God intended about your life. That requires for you to listen. Doesn't require for you to scroll up and down, for you to keep your eyes on other people. It requires for you to have moments with yourself, sit with you, talk with you. And I prefer verbal communication. I talk to myself, and I'm not using myself as any measure of success, but I'm happy where I am, and I'm happy of the prospects that I imagine are ahead of me. So with today's topic, we have granted you the permission not to compare yourself to other people. We've granted you permission to explore every little thing about yourself. And remember, Ibel does not color at the same time for all of us. It is on God's time. It is a wrap.